Hello, welcome to this lesson where we're going to look at the areas of rectangles and squares. Okay, so here we have our rectangle. Each of these here represents 1 unit, or 1 square unit, sorry, 1 unit squared, which means that it's 1 unit long by 1 unit. Okay, so you end up with a unit squared looks like that. Now, if we have 5 units along here and 3 down here, you can see from this diagram that we're going to have an area of 15 units squared. And you might recognize that if we did 5 times 3, we're going to get 15 units squared. Okay, we have a similar one. We have 5 and we have 7. If you count these up, you'll see that the area is 35 units squared. And again, if you were to do 5 units times 7 units, you would get 35 units squared. So, I've sort of given you some hints up till now, and you may already know it, but could you find out what the area of a rectangle is, specifically this one, and write out what the formula would be? Okay, so this might be a bit of a confusing question. We want to write our area equals, and then as we've done before, we could have 5 and 7 along here. We go 5 times 7 would give us the area. Here we have L and H, or our length and our height. So we're going to write LH. So the area of our rectangle is the length of one side times the height of the other. And we get this formula. Area equals length times height. Now, we also should be aware of another way this could be written. Instead of height, we could have the breadth and B. So we could have it written area equals length times breadth. We'll stay with this one, but if you see this one written here, you know what it means. Okay, so now we're going to look at the area of squares. So this time we've only been given the measurement here, but we can see that there's 4 squares along here as well. So 4 units. We have 16 completely, so we have 16 units. Square units. We can also see that we could go 4 times 4, which gives us 16. So this area is 16 units squared. Now, if we have one side, can you work out what the area of the square formula would be? Okay, so we have our area. And let's say we have the area of a rectangle, because the square is a special type of rectangle. So we have length times height. Here we have the length, and here we have the height. Now, we know that length is going to equal S, and this side also, because it's a square, is going to be the same. So the H is going to equal S. So L equals S, H equals S. So our area is going to be S times S. So our area is going to be S squared. So we could check that. If we had the triangle, the square from before, which was 4 by 4, if we did A equals 4 squared, we're going to get 16, which is the number that we got. So this here is the formula for the area of a square. So now I'm going to ask you to use those formulas to work out the areas of these shapes. So for this one, remember our formula, area equals length times height. We have our length and our height. And an aside here, I write length like this because if we were to write it like you would in English or something like that, you might end up confusing that with a 1. So our length, we write it like writing, so that we know that it's a variable. All that means length. So our area equals that. So area is 10 times 6, which is 60, and we need to write meters squared. Okay, can you find this one? All right, we don't have any measurements here, but we're told it's a square. So we could go in and put these in. And that, we then use the formula, area equals side squared. So we just need one side, so the area. Our side length is 12, so we get 12 squared, so we get 144. We need to remember our measurement, 2 meters squared. We should keep meters in there as well. So I hope this lesson has made sense. It may be a bit confusing because we're using letters and haven't really looked at algebra that much, but hopefully you can understand what we've been doing. If you don't, bring your questions to me. Otherwise, thank you.